Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln pennies coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're going to focus on an unassuming little coin, the United States 1 cent from 1991. At first glance, you might think it's just another penny in your collection, but let me tell you, this coin has a story to tell that could make it worth far more than its face value. Stick around, and you'll discover why this small penny could be worth a whole lot more than you think. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate what makes this coin unique. The 1991 penny was produced during an interesting time in American history. The U.S. economy was booming in the early 90s, and the coin itself is a part of the rich legacy of American currency. But this particular coin became something special in the eyes of collectors due to its rarity and certain unique features that make it stand out from the rest. First, let's talk about the design. On the obverse side, we see Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait. The 1991 penny, like others from that period, shows Lincoln in his traditional bust with the famous Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But it's not the design itself that makes this penny valuable. It's what happened in the minting process that gives this coin its special status. Now, let's dive into the real reason why this coin could be worth far more than just 1 cent. The rarity of the 1991 penny is what really catches the eye of collectors. The United States Mint produced billions of pennies in 1991, but very few of them are in perfect, uncirculated condition. Over time, many pennies were used in daily transactions and became worn down. Coins that have been carefully preserved and are free from wear and tear can significantly increase in value. So, if you happen to have a 1991 penny that looks as fresh as the day it was minted, you might want to hold on to it. But here's the kicker: there are certain 1991 pennies that have unique errors, which make them even more desirable. One of the most interesting errors that can make a penny extremely valuable is called a double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, resulting in a double image on the coin. If you have a 1991 penny with a double die error, it could be worth a significant amount more than you might expect. These errors are rare, and coin collectors go crazy over them because they are so hard to find. Another error that can increase the value of the 1991 penny is the off-center strike. In this error, the coin is not perfectly aligned during the minting process, and part of the design is missing or shifted to one side. It's a defect that makes the coin unique, and collectors are always on the lookout for these kinds of coins. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin can become. These misprints add character to the coin and make it a one-of-a-kind treasure. If you've been collecting coins for any amount of time, you know that minting errors are highly coveted in the world of numismatics. They add a layer of intrigue and rarity that makes them stand out in any collection. And it's not just the casual collectors who are after these unique coins. Serious numismatists are willing to pay top dollar for one-of-a-kind finds. So, let's talk about the value of the 1991 penny. If you're lucky enough to own a 1991 penny in uncirculated condition or one with a minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. As crazy as it sounds, this penny can fetch a staggering $45,000. That's right, $45,000 for a single penny. The rarity, pristine condition, or minting errors make this coin highly desirable for collectors around the world, and that price tag reflects just how much value these small treasures can hold. If you think you might have one of these rare 1991 pennies, it's definitely worth getting it appraised by a professional. You never know, you could be holding a coin worth far more than you ever imagined. Remember, the key to getting top dollar is making sure the coin is in excellent condition, free from any wear or damage. So, the next time you come across a 1991 penny in your change, take a moment to check its condition closely. Is it shiny and new, or does it have a unique error? You might just have a hidden gem on your hands. Coin collecting isn't just about the thrill of the hunt, it's about discovering these rare treasures that could be worth more than you ever thought possible. Top 2, we've got something truly exciting for you, a coin that might just be sitting in your collection, or even in your pocket, right now. We're talking about the 1979 United States 1 cent coin. At first glance, it might seem like just another penny, but hold on tight because this little coin holds a secret. What if I told you that this humble penny could be worth far more than you ever imagined? Yes, you heard that right. Stick around because you won't want to miss the incredible story behind this coin's potential value. Now, let's set the stage. The 1979 penny was minted during a period of economic change in the United States. The 1970s were a time of transition, marked by the end of the Vietnam War, a rising inflation rate, and a changing landscape in American politics. Despite these turbulent times, the U.S. Mint continued producing millions of pennies for circulation. But what sets the 1979 1-cent coin apart from others minted during that decade is its rarity and the unique characteristics that collectors now seek out. First off, let's talk about the design. The obverse side of the 1979 penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, which has been a standard on U.S. pennies since 1909. The reverse side shows the Lincoln Memorial, which was featured on pennies from 1959 until 2008. It's the classic penny design that's become instantly recognizable to anyone who's ever had pocket change, but while the design is timeless, it's the coin's rarity and certain minting errors that make the 1979 penny so desirable in the world of coin collecting. The U.S. Mint produced a staggering number of pennies in 1979, but not all of them were perfect. And this is where things get interesting. Some of these pennies contain rare minting errors that make them highly valuable today. One of the most exciting errors that can be found on the 1979 penny is the infamous double die obverse error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment, creating a double image of Lincoln's portrait and the surrounding lettering. The effect is subtle, but collectors with a trained eye can spot it right away. These double die errors are a huge deal in the world of numismatics, and a penny with this kind of mistake can command a much higher price than one without it. Another error that can make the 1979 penny even more valuable is the off-center strike. An off-center strike happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned during the minting process, leaving part of the coin's design missing or shifted to one side. While this might seem like a flaw to some, it's actually a highly sought-after feature among collectors. The more extreme the off-center error, the more valuable the coin becomes. These types of coins are rare and add a unique character to any collection, but the rarity of the 1979 penny doesn't just lie in the errors, its condition also plays a huge role in determining its value. Like any collectible, the better the condition, the higher the price. Coins that have been carefully preserved in uncirculated condition, with no signs of wear or damage, are worth far more than those that have been tossed around in change jars or spent over time. A pristine 1979 penny, free from scratches, discoloration, and other imperfections, could potentially be worth a small fortune to the right buyer. Now, let's talk about why this coin is so attractive to collectors. The 1979 penny isn't just valuable for its errors or minting issues, it's also part of a larger collection of coins from an important time in American history. For many collectors, owning a piece of currency from a specific era adds historical value that can't be measured in just dollars and cents. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or just someone who enjoys discovering hidden gems, the 1979 penny offers a chance to own a small piece of American history that could be worth much more than its face value. So, here's the big reveal. If you happen to have a 1979 penny in excellent condition, especially one with a rare minting error like the double die obverse or off-center strike, you could be sitting on a coin worth a whopping $65,000. Yes, you read that right, $65,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something so small could hold such immense value, but in the world of coin collecting, anything is possible. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these rare 1979 pennies, it could be time to get it appraised by a professional. A coin in perfect condition or with a rare error could significantly increase your collection's value. And who knows, your penny might just be worth more than you ever dreamed. So, next time you dig through your spare change, take a moment to check the date on any pennies from 1979. You might be holding a coin that's more than just pocket change. It could be a rare treasure waiting to be discovered. Top 3. We're diving into a piece of history that might just be sitting in your collection or tucked away in your spare change right now. You're probably thinking, it's just a penny, right? But believe it or not, the 1972 United States 1-cent coin could actually be worth a lot more than its face value. This little penny, often overlooked by many, has a fascinating story that makes it incredibly valuable for the right collector. Stick with us as we explore what makes this coin so special, and why it could be worth thousands of dollars. The 1972 penny was minted during an era of great change in the United States. In the early 1970s, the country was navigating a tough economy, rising inflation, and the end of the Vietnam War. Yet, amid this chaos, the U.S. Mint continued to produce millions of pennies. While most of these pennies went on to live a life of daily transactions, some of them were struck with unique characteristics that would make them highly desirable to collectors down the line. At first glance, the 1972 penny might look like any other. The design is the classic one we all know, the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. It's the same design that's been featured on the penny since 1909. However, what's interesting is that while many of these coins were minted in vast quantities, not all of them made it into circulation in perfect condition. And it's that rarity, combined with specific errors, that has made this particular penny extremely valuable to collectors. Now let's get into the real magic of the 1972 penny. This coin became highly sought after due to some very special minting errors. The most exciting of these errors is the famous double die obverse error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing a double image of Lincoln's portrait and the surrounding lettering. The result is a coin with a slight but noticeable doubling effect, making it stand out from the regular 1972 pennies. Double die errors are incredibly rare, and when you find one, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. Imagine holding a coin where Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears twice, perfectly aligned with the first image. It's one of those rare quirks of minting that adds to the charm of collecting coins. The double die obverse penny from 1972 has become a treasure in the numismatic world, and finding one in uncirculated condition or with this error can significantly increase its value, but the magic doesn't stop there. Another type of error that can be found on some 1972 pennies is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't aligned properly during the minting process, leaving part of the design missing or shifted to one side. These off-center pennies have a unique look to them. Sometimes, part of Lincoln's portrait or the memorial might be cut off, or the coin may have a strange, asymmetrical shape. While this may seem like a mistake, in the world of coin collecting, these kinds of errors are highly prized. An off-center 1972 penny can be a fascinating addition to a collection, and the more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. These off-center coins are rare and can attract a lot of attention from collectors who are always searching for unique and unusual specimens to add to their collections. But here's the big question: what makes this coin so valuable in general, beyond just the errors? Well, it's about rarity, condition, and the market for these coins. While millions of 1972 pennies were minted, only a small percentage of them were kept in pristine condition, free from wear, scratches, or discoloration. If you happen to have a 1972 penny that's been well preserved, it could be worth far more than you think. Coins in uncirculated condition, especially those with minting errors, are often the ones that command the highest prices. So, what are we looking at in terms of value? Well, if you're lucky enough to have a 1972 penny with a double die obverse or a significant off-center strike, or even just one that's in near-perfect condition, you could be holding something worth a lot more than just 1 cent. The value of these rare and error-filled coins has skyrocketed in recent years, and it's not uncommon for them to sell for an eye-watering amount of money. Now, here's the jaw-dropping part: if you own one of these rarer 1972 pennies in excellent condition, it could be worth $69,000. That's right, $69,000 for a single penny. This is a rare find that many collectors dream of stumbling upon, and it's a perfect example of how the world of coin collecting can turn the most ordinary-looking coins into extraordinary treasures. So, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1972 penny on your hands? Well, first, take a good look at it. Examine the details closely, especially around Lincoln's portrait and the surrounding lettering. If you spot any doubling or see that the design seems off-center, you might be holding a rare gem. If it's in mint condition and shows no signs of wear, it's definitely worth getting professionally appraised. In the world of coin collecting, you never know when you might find your next big treasure. So, the next time you come across a 1972 penny, take a moment to check it out carefully. It might just be worth far more than you think. Top 4, we've got an exciting piece of history to explore, the United States 1-cent coin from 1977. At first glance, it may seem like just another penny, but let me tell you, there's a lot more to this little coin than meets the eye. If you've ever thought that pennies are just worth a penny, think again. Stick with us to find out why the 1977 penny could be worth a whole lot more than you'd expect. The 1977 penny was minted during a time of economic change in the United States. The 1970s were a turbulent decade, with rising inflation, economic uncertainty, and shifts in American culture. But amid all of this, the U.S. Mint continued to churn out billions of pennies, most of which were used in daily transactions and eventually worn down or lost. However, among all those pennies, some have special characteristics that make them stand out, and that's where things get interesting for coin collectors. The design of the 1977 penny is the same as many other pennies produced during the 20th century, featuring the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. It's a design that's familiar to all of us and one that has been part of American currency for over a century. But what makes the 1977 penny special isn't the design itself, it's the errors and the rarity that make this coin a valuable find for the right collector. One of the most significant reasons the 1977 penny stands out is due to the double die error. This is one of the most famous errors in the world of coin collecting, and it can really make a coin's value soar. The double die error happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly, causing the image to be struck multiple times. This results in a slight doubling of the design elements on the coin. On a 1977 penny, this could mean that Abraham Lincoln's image appears with a subtle double outline, or the lettering around the coin might look slightly off, giving it an almost ghost-like effect. These subtle errors are highly prized by collectors, and finding a 1977 penny with this kind of double die error is a real jackpot, but that's not the only error that can make the 1977 penny more valuable. Another rare error that can be found on this coin is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be shifted or even cut off. Off-center coins like this are incredibly unique, and they make for a fantastic conversation piece in any collection. The more extreme the error, the more valuable the coin becomes, which makes an off-center 1977 penny an even rarer and more desirable find for collectors. If you're a coin collector, you already know that condition plays a huge role in the value of a coin. And while the 1977 penny was produced in large numbers, only a small fraction of these coins remain in pristine, uncirculated condition today. Pennies that have been carefully preserved and show no signs of wear or damage are much more valuable than those that have been through years of circulation. So, if you happen to have a 1977 penny that's in perfect condition, you're already on the right track to having a valuable coin. Now, let's talk about the big question: how much can this penny be worth? If you've got a 1977 penny in pristine condition or one that features an error like a double die or off-center strike, you could be holding a treasure worth much more than just 1 cent. It might surprise you to learn that the 1977 penny has been known to sell for $62,000. Yes, you heard that right, $62,000 for a single penny. It's truly mind-blowing how something so small and seemingly ordinary can hold such tremendous value. For collectors, finding a 1977 penny with a rare error or in exceptional condition is like striking gold. The rarity of these coins, combined with the unique characteristics that make them stand out, is what makes them so desirable. Whether you're just starting your coin collection or you've been collecting for years, this penny could be the next big addition to your collection. If you think you might have a 1977 penny with a rare error or one that's in uncirculated condition, it's worth having it professionally appraised. You never know, what seems like a common penny could turn out to be a hidden treasure that's worth thousands of dollars. So, the next time you sift through your change jar or dig through your pocket change, take a moment to look closely at any 1977 pennies you come across. A coin that's in great shape or has a unique error might just be worth far more than you think. Top 5, we've got an exciting discovery that could be sitting in your collection right now. That's right, today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1975 United States 1-cent coin, and let me tell you, this seemingly ordinary penny might just be worth a small fortune. Stick with us as we reveal why this little coin has captured the attention of collectors and what makes it so special. First, let's take a trip back to 1975. The United States was in the middle of the 1970s, a decade marked by significant political, social, and economic changes. This was the tail end of the Vietnam War era, and the nation was in the midst of recovering from a tumultuous time. Despite these challenges, the U.S. Mint continued its regular coin production, and millions of pennies were made in 1975 to keep up with the country's currency needs. But not all of them were created equal, and here's where things get interesting. The 1975 penny is often overlooked, but what many collectors don't realize is that this coin can be a hidden treasure. While most of these pennies are commonly found in circulation, a select few have unique qualities that make them rare and highly valuable to collectors. One of the biggest factors that set the 1975 penny apart is the possibility of certain minting errors, which can dramatically increase the value of the coin. One of the most exciting errors to look for on the 1975 penny is the double die error. This is one of the most sought-after errors in the world of coin collecting. A double die error happens when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly during the minting process, causing the design to be struck more than once. The result is a subtle but noticeable doubling effect on elements like the lettering or Lincoln's portrait. If you examine the obverse closely, you might notice that Lincoln's profile or the words around the coin have a faint, double appearance. This slight variation is incredibly rare, and a 1975 penny with this error could fetch a substantial price. Another type of error that could be found on the 1975 penny is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be shifted to the edge or even off the coin entirely. An off-center penny can be a real showstopper in any collection, especially if the error is extreme. These types of coins are especially popular because they are one of a kind, and the more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin can become. What makes these 1975 pennies so valuable, beyond the errors, is their rarity and condition. Most pennies that were minted in the 1970s were used for everyday transactions and have suffered wear and tear over the years. A well-preserved penny from 1975, especially one that has been kept in uncirculated condition, is relatively rare. The better the condition of the coin, the more it's worth. If you're lucky enough to have a 1975 penny in mint condition or with an error, you could be holding on to a true treasure. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with unique characteristics, and the 1975 penny has become one of the more sought-after coins for those looking to complete their collections. As more and more time passes, the number of well-preserved 1975 pennies dwindles, which only increases the demand for them. Whether it's a double die error, an off-center strike, or just a penny in excellent shape, the 1975 1-cent coin has captured the interest of collectors everywhere. Now, here's where the real magic happens. If you're holding a 1975 penny in excellent condition, or even better, one with a minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. The value of these rare coins has soared over the years, and it's not uncommon for them to fetch incredible prices in the market. So, if you've got a 1975 penny that seems to be in great shape, or if you spot any errors like a double die or an off-center strike, you may have something worth a lot more than just 1 cent. The value of these rare and error-filled coins can reach astonishing heights, and if you're fortunate enough to have one in your possession, it could be worth as much as $61,000. That's right, $61,000 for a single penny. It's truly unbelievable how a simple coin can carry such an immense value. If you think you've found one of these rare pennies, it's worth getting it professionally appraised. The world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures, and who knows, you might be holding the next big find in your hands. So, the the next time you're going through your change jar or rummaging through your old pennies, take a second look at any 1975 pennies you find. You might just have a valuable coin that's worth far more than its face value. Top 6 and last unique coin, we're diving into the intriguing world of the 1980 United States 1-cent coin. Now, most of us probably think of pennies as just small change, but trust me, this 1980 penny might just surprise you. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your coin hunting journey, this one is bound to catch your attention. Stick around to find out how this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a lot more than you think. The 1980 penny was minted during a time when the US was experiencing some economic shifts. The country was recovering from the energy crisis of the 1970s and heading toward a period of economic expansion. The US Mint continued producing billions of pennies to meet the needs of everyday transactions, but little did they know that among these massive mintage numbers, a few pennies would carry valuable characteristics that collectors would go wild for. At first glance, the design of the 1980 penny is familiar. The profile of Abraham Lincoln graces the obverse, while the reverse features the iconic Lincoln Memorial. It's the same design that's been part of the penny for over 70 years. But as we know, the value of a coin isn't just determined by its design, it's the rarity, condition, and any unique features that can set it apart from the rest. And that's where this 1980 penny becomes more than just pocket change. What makes the 1980 penny so special? Well, one key factor is the possibility of minting errors. These errors, while unintentional, can turn an otherwise common coin into a rare and highly valuable treasure for collectors. Let's start with one of the most popular and highly sought-after errors, the double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly, causing the design to be struck multiple times. As a result, you'll notice a subtle, doubled image of Abraham Lincoln's portrait or the lettering around the edge of the coin. This error is extremely rare and can add significant value to a coin. If you come across a 1980 penny with a double die, it could be worth far more than its face value. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be shifted or even cut off. Imagine a penny where part of Lincoln's face or the surrounding details are missing or off to one side. That's an off-center strike. These types of errors are highly prized by collectors because they're unique, and the more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. It's definitely one of those one-of-a-kind pieces that collectors love to get their hands on, and let's not forget about condition. The value of a coin increases exponentially when it's in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most pennies that were minted in 1980 have been through years of circulation, showing signs of wear, discoloration, and scratches. But if you happen to find a 1980 penny that has been carefully stored and preserved in mint condition, it can be worth a lot more than you might expect. The fewer imperfections the coin has, the more valuable it becomes in the eyes of collectors. But here's the real kicker: how much can a 1980 penny be worth if it has one of these rare errors or is in exceptional condition? You might be shocked to learn that a 1980 penny with a significant error or in mint condition could be worth as much as $56,000. Yes, you heard that right, $56,000 for a single penny. Imagine finding a coin like that sitting in your collection or in your spare change. For those of you wondering if you have a 1980 penny with a valuable error, take a moment to check its condition and design closely. Look for any signs of doubling on Lincoln's portrait or the surrounding text, or check if the design seems shifted or off-center. If you spot any of these errors, it could be your lucky day. If you believe you have a 1980 penny with one of these rare traits, it's definitely worth having it professionally appraised. Coins like these are in high demand, and collectors are constantly searching for them. Whether you're adding it to your personal collection or selling it to the highest bidder, a 1980 penny with a minting error can be worth a small fortune. So, the next time you're going through your loose change or sorting through old coins, take a close look at any 1980 pennies you find. That little penny sitting in your pocket might just be worth a lot more than you think. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 1980 penny and its hidden value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future discoveries. Who knows, your next big find might just be sitting in your coin jar right now. Happy hunting, and keep collecting.